Your boy Brian Cotton, keep pounding. How about the Panthers yesterday? Oh, that was a great game yesterday. 20-14. Looking at the score, it doesn't look like it was that big of an impressive victory, but more than impressed with the Panthers. They came with that defense, and hats off to Derek Anderson. He's probably the best backup quarterback in the NFL. Coming in the game like he did, running this offense like a pro. I think it was his first start since like December of 2010. So I think he was probably my player of the game. Kelvin Benjamin, man, he made some catches yesterday. How about that touchdown catch, man? Steve Smith, hats off to him. He made a great play against busted coverage against the Bengals, throwing Pac-Man Jones to the ground like he did. But, man, Kelvin Benjamin's going to be special. I thought he would come out and have a great season. It's only the first game. It's hard to not be excited, though, about Kelvin Benjamin. And Greg Olsen, he's doing what he's doing. Everybody was talking about this Panthers team, losing Steve Smith, Ted Ginn, Brandon LaFell. And they'll even talk about Dominique Hickson, which you can't even count. Dominique, that's played out. I think I ranted about that all summer. But hats off to the Panthers. Without Cam Newton, I thought the Panthers would still win. I thought it would be more like on Facebook. I make my predictions on Facebook for all my friends to see. 13-9, that was my pick. Didn't get to do a preview video here, but man, I'm excited about this season. It's great to get a W, first opening day win since 2008. I just want to talk about the Buccaneers for a second because I have had to listen to all these publications. Herm Edwards, every chance he gets, he's talking about how the Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South. You got to be kidding me. And Warren Sapp, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think that they got into that situation you don't want to be in. They read their own press clippings. There was talk about they wanted to run the Panthers out of the building. And Josh McCown, I've been warning y'all Bucs fans about Josh McCown all summer. Now, he made some plays at the end of the game. Give him credit for that. But the Panthers were playing conservative with their defense, keeping everything in front of them, grinding out that clock. Let them catch that 10-yard pass. Now, I will say that my heart sank a little bit when Goldson almost turned in that pick six. A lot of Buccaneers fans are talking about that, like the Buccaneers should have won. They crowned your team on your off season in the front office, decisions that were made, players that were brought in. And it's just like you don't win games with free agent signings, just as you don't win games with what ifs. What if this would have happened? What if that would have happened? It don't matter what if. It matters what happened on the field. So, the defense, Luke Kuechly, he had a big sack that killed a drive, took points off the board, knocking him out of field goal range, I should say. Made the big forced fumble, stripping Bobby Rainey. And, I never heard so much trash talk about a team that only won 4 games. Now, I always get excited about the Panthers, even when they had a bad season the year before. But I wouldn't talk trash like these Buccaneers fans do, talking about how good their defense is. A backup quarterback came in there, and until the Panthers went conservative in the fourth quarter, he was lighting your defense up. So, good win for the Panthers. Bucs fans, take your humble pie. The Buccaneers are going to be a better team by the end of the season. But I do think that Josh McCown is not going to be the starter there for too many more games. I really don't. He's a glorified backup. He had 2 of the best receivers in the entire NFL on his team last year. They're bailing him out. He made some of the worst decisions, proving that he is nothing but Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn did the same thing. He had that one game. I think he threw 5 touchdown passes, and we ain't heard from him since. Count as that same play. Talking about this game next week against the Lions, I'll try to get a more in-depth preview. I think right now the Lions are on right now. They're up 14-0. Matthew Stafford's looking on point, but I mean it's the Giants, So it's going to be a tough game. Calvin Johnson, he's always tough to stop. Reggie Bush can make some plays. I think the Lions defense is a little bit vulnerable in the secondary. And I think, they're already talking Cam Newton's going to start next week. One thing I will say that just a little prediction for Cam Newton next week. Cam Newton is one of the most competitive guys in the NFL. And, he saw his buddy Derek Anderson come out there on Sunday and have a big game. And everybody, and these are the ignorant fans talking about how Derek Anderson should start the rest of the season. He's hearing that a little bit. He wants to prove to Carolina why he's the franchise quarterback, why he's the starter over Derek Anderson, and why he deserves a big contract in the offseason. I think that Cam Newton's going to come out, and a lot of people might think he might be rusty with that ankle and with those ribs. But trust me, I think we're going to see a performance from Cam Newton reminiscent of that first game he played against Arizona. Maybe not throwing for 400 yards, but he's gonna have a huge game. I'm predicting at least 300 passing yards with guys like Benjamin and Olsen. Kotri and Avant can make some plays. Philly Brown, he can make some plays. I don't want to pick a score yet for the game. I think the Panthers will win another tough game next week. But the Lions, they look tough. Their first 2 drives, they look pretty unstoppable. But again, it's the Giants, and they're at home. So, just got to say, keep pounding, Panthers fans. We heard them talk about our team, dismiss our team. Ben Watson disregarding the Panthers, saying they're not worried about the Panthers this season. You better be worried about these Panthers, because that defense is lighting people up this year. And Cam Newton's coming back. And we don't need Steve Smith because we got Kelvin Benjamin. And Greg Olsen is still Greg Olsen. And the running game, they had a few big plays against the Buccaneers. Controlled the clock up until like the last 10 minutes of the game when the Buccaneers were making their run. But, at the end of the day, hats off to the Buccaneers. They did not give up. They did put up a little bit of a fight there in the fourth quarter. But at the end of the day, what I expected to happen happened. Carolina comes out of Tampa Bay with the W. Tampa Bay's back in the cellar where they belong, where they're going to be the whole season as long as Josh McCown's their quarterback. And, that's just all I got to say is just keep pounding. I'll see y'all later.